Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss about method of reiteration for horizontal measurement of angle using theodolite. Uh, let us revise what we have learned so far in theodolite surveying for a few minutes, and then we'll continue to reiteration method. Yeah, this is a photograph of showing theodolite, and we have discussed about in detail about various components of theodolite, starting from bottom to top, and each function of different components parts. And we have also discussed about technical terms and various fundamental lines of a theodolite and relation between them, and some of the technical terms like transiting, swinging, and changing phase, phase left, phase right, and all. Now, yeah, we have also talked about measurement of horizontal angles using different methods, and among these, the first method, general procedure. So here, if I want to calculate angle between two survey lines, let us say OA and OB, then so in this particular method, general procedure method, we are going to calculate the horizontal angle once with respect to phase left, and similarly will record the same in the tabular form, and will change the phase to the face right, and will repeat the measurement of our angle again with face right, and record the same onto the tabular form. Yeah, for measuring one angle set, we may take average of vernier A as well as vernier B both. Right, once we get the final face left angle and face right angle, then average of those two will be a horizontal angle. So in this procedure, you will get least count as equal to least count of theodolite only, whereas a repetition method. So here also we are going to calculate angle between two survey lines only. Again, let us say OA and OB. Again, there are only two lines, and we are going to calculate the angle between them, but this time we must require an accuracy which is more than the what we have obtained in general procedure. Let us say if we obtain least count of 20 seconds in the first method, and you may get least count of 10 seconds or even less with the help of this repetition method. So here procedure will be, you are going to record the horizontal reading between two given survey lines for number of times. Let us say generally we take three times with face right, and again three times with face left, and then average of both face left and face right values will give you actual horizontal angle more accurately in this repetition method. So having known about the first two methods, we have now arrived at the reiteration method. So here this method is also a more precise method, unlike general procedure. So in repetition method we'll get precise angle, as well as in reiteration method also we'll get a more precise angle. But here method is somewhat different, and this is adapted or used when number of angles, horizontal angles, are to be measured with the same station. That is the most suitability. Okay. Anyhow, we are going to discuss in detail about reiteration method in the next slides. Okay. Let us first recall how to take readings. Let us say this is vernier A. On vernier A, this is my main scale, and how to for this particular image, what is my reading? We are quickly going to get the reading, and then we'll continue with the discussion. Yeah, and this is also zero mark or index mark of vernier A. and the lower one is main scale, and index A 0 is pointing out in between 10 degrees and 20 minutes and 10 degrees 40 minutes. So therefore we must consider the lower side, and here at vernier A reading we may consider main scale reading and vernier scale reading VSR. And for main scale reading, now in this particular case it is 10 degrees and 20 minutes. Okay, 10 degrees and 20 minutes, whereas in vernier scale we will only get minutes and seconds, not degrees. Okay, so main scale is over. Now coming to vernier scale, we must search for the coincidence. So here zero line is not exactly coinciding with any line of the main scale, and you can continue searching from zero. um, yeah, somewhere here at y mark this particular line is exactly in line with the main scale. This is exactly matching. So that means this is a perfect coincidence. And if it is a perfect coincidence, then what would be the reading? 5 minutes, 6 minutes, 7 minutes, and 8 minutes. This is exactly 8 minutes. So I can write 8 minutes and 00 seconds on vernier scale for this particular. So now total reading on my vernier scale reading will be 10 degrees, 20 plus 8, 28 minutes, 28 minutes and 00 seconds. Now this is a final reading I have to record on the tabular form. And uh, let us say vernier B you are recording. So for the same set, if you are recording for a vernier B, again it is now divided into main scale reading and again vernier scale reading at vernier B also. Now main scale reading will be same as your vernier A value. Vernier A's main scale reading the same. But in vernier B in the tabular form I must record minutes and seconds only. So therefore I will consider main scale reading of vernier A. Yeah, let us consider completely main scale reading of vernier A 10 minutes, 10 degrees and 20 minutes, and vernier scale reading for the uh, for the B vernier scale on B. Let us say if this is a coincidence, if this is a coincidence on vernier B, let us say, now what is its reading? 5 degrees 6 uh, okay, so 6 minutes, that's all, right? So I must enter here 6 minutes and 00 seconds. So now total reading will be 10 degrees 26 minutes 00 seconds, but in the tabular form there is only provision for writing minutes as well as seconds only. So I must enter here 26 minutes and 00 seconds. I think I'm clear so far. So in vernier scale reading, I should enter degrees, minutes, and seconds, whereas in vernier B, only minutes and seconds are to be entered in the tabular form. Then finally, mean or average angle is the average of these two. For instance, average is 10 degrees, 27 minutes, and 0 seconds. And like this, you are going to repeat the entire process in number of times whenever you require to enter the reading into the tabular form. Okay. Now with this, we'll go into the method measurement of horizontal angle by a reiteration method. So what is adaptability of this method? So as I said in this previous slide also, when there are number of angles are to be measured from the same station. So with the same instrument station, you are going to measure 4 or 5 or more horizontal angles, then this method is best suited for saving time. Because when you use a method of repetition, for each angle you are going to repeat with the 3 times with face left and 3 times with face right, and 6 times completely for single angle, And if there are four angles, 4 multiplied by 6, so lot of times you are going to measure unnecessarily. But with the help of this reiteration method, you can avoid all that long procedure. Yeah. What is that method? Overview. So here in this method of reiteration, when several angles are to be measured from the same station, all the angles are measured successively from first station, and the angle between the last station and first station is also measured. Thus, the horizon is closed. And if the horizon is not closed or there is a minor error, then that error is equally distributed among all the angles. And then the same procedure is repeated with face right and face left. Then the individual angles are determined by averaging both face left and face right values. So this is a overview. Now detailed procedure and how to record the tabular form, how to calculate, and what is the advantage, we are going to see in detail. Let us say our instrument is placed at the center, let us say on station O, and you can also write lines A, B, C, D or P, Q, R, S, whatever you like. Now, for instance, we have four survey lines like OP, OQ, OR, and OS. Likewise, we have four survey lines, and we require to calculate the horizontal angle to a greater precision between the survey lines. That is, angle POQ and QOR and ROS and SOP are to be determined. Now, a field procedure will be like this. So, referring to this particular figure, the instrument station O is placed at the center, and angles POQ, QOR, and ROS as well as SOA, SOP are to be measured by reiteration method. So procedure will be like this: set up instrument at O and complete your all temporary adjustments like centering, leveling, and focusing all. And then release both the clamps, lower clamp as well as upper clamp, and rotate both instrument, I mean, by releasing both the clamps, rotate in opposite direction both the clamps, and then rotate such that the vernier A 0 reading should exactly matches with the 0 of main scale reading. Now, if it is done in the first instance, the angle may be, I mean, telescope may be any other direction apart from these four lines. Now, I should start at OP line or OA line. So, I must bring this telescope, which was placed in awkward direction, onto a line OP. So for this, release lower clamp and direct the telescope to the ranging node or signal at P. Now you can fix the lower clamp, and for exact bisection we need to use a lower tangent. So again, uh, let us first let us clarify that when we go for lower clamp and when we go for upper clamp and upper tangent and lower tangent and so on. So simple, main scale is attached to the lower clamp and verniers are attached to the upper clamp. When you release lower clamp and fix upper clamp, the verniers are tightly fixed to the main scale, and when you rotate, the two together will move and there will not be any relative change, therefore reading will not be changes when you operate lower clamp screw. Clear? Now when you fix lower clamp and when you release upper clamp, main scale is tightly fixed and only vernier pointers, vernier A and B only moves on vernier main scale, and thereby there is a relative change between main scale as well as vernier scale, and therefore when you operate or when you release upper clamp screw and rotate the telescope, then there will be change in the reading happens. So these 2 points are to be clear first. And tangents, coming to the tangent, lower clamp functions in the similar way as that of lower tangent, and upper clamp I mean, works as in the similar way of upper tangent works in the similar way of upper clamp. The only different, only thing to be noted is those two tangents will work only when the corresponding clamp is fixed. That means when the upper clamp is fixed, then only you must operate the upper tangent screw. And similarly, when the lower clamp is fixed, then only you can operate the lower tangent screw. If not, if the lower clamp is released and then you try to apply lower tangent screw, it won't work. Okay, so be careful while operating tangent screws. I think we are now clear with what we have to do. So now telescope is directed in the telescope is bisected. The signal or ranging rod placed at P exactly. Then you can tighten the lower clamp screw, and yeah, with the help of a tangent lower tangent screw you have bisected exactly. Now you can read both the verniers A and B. It should be exactly 0 0. Okay, now you can record the same onto the tabular form. This is the tabular form for reiteration method, which is exactly same as previous one. Only thing here, in between these face left and face right, there will be a vertical column naming repetition, number of repetition, number 1, 2 and 3 and so on, whereas here it is not there, it is completely removed. That's all. Everything is same. Yeah, instrument is placed at O and sighted to A on signal A, or I should say ranging rod A. Now the reading on vernier A is 0 0 0, and similarly vernier B 0. So therefore mean is 0 degrees 0 minutes and 0 seconds. Right. So now instrument is telescope is directed to P and reading is 0. Now what happens? I must release upper clamp, okay, loosen the upper clamp and turn the telescope clockwise, that is right side, swing right, until the signal Q is bisected approximately. Now you can fix the upper clamp screw and operate upper tangent screw for exact bisection of Q, ranging rod Q or signal Q. Now once it is exactly bisected, read both verniers, and the mean vernier scale reading will give the horizontal angle POQ. Now the mean will give you angle POQ. Let us go to the table form. POQ or AOB. Now we have rotated telescope onto B. Now the reading on vernier A is 54 degrees 31 minutes and 20 seconds. That means main scale reading on vernier A is actually 54 degrees and 20 minutes, and Vernier scale coincidence is actually 11 minutes and 20 seconds, and 11 and 20 when you add, it is now 31 and 20 seconds as it is. Similarly, on vernier B, coincidence is actually 11 degrees and 11 minutes and 20 seconds only, but 20 minutes of vernier A main scale is to be considered at vernier B also. Therefore 20 plus 11 is now 31 minutes and 20 seconds. So this is again important. When you just enter only vernier coincidence of vernier B, that is 11 and 20, it should be a blunder. There should be a huge difference between these two, and finally it will give a false reading or wrong reading. So be careful when you are writing minutes onto tabular form of vernier B. So here main scale reading minutes are to be considered. Okay, that is to be remembered. Now what is the mean? Just average of these two will give you this angle. Now horizontal angle. So here difference of the two, when you deduct 0 degrees 0 minutes 0 seconds from 54 31 20, you will get 54 31 20, 54 degrees 31 minutes 20 seconds as angle AOB. So these are all done with the face left and right side. Okay. Right, we'll go back to the diagram again. Now we are at Q. Now again, in order to continue our measurement, we must release upper clamp only, not the lower clamp. In method of repetition, we used to go back, and therefore, without disturbing the angle, we used to go back. Therefore, we release the lower clamp. But here in this method, we'll continue to measure the reading further, and therefore, again release the upper clamp only. Okay, right, loosen the upper clamp and turn the telescope clockwise until the station R or C is bisected, and then tighten the upper screw and use upper tangent screw for exact bisection, and then read both the verniers, and then determine the angle QOR. The angle is obtained by taking the difference between readings R and Q. Now I'll go to the tabular form. Yeah, we have bisected a station, I mean ranging rod on C. Now the actual angle on vernier A is 102 degrees and 20 minutes on main scale, 5 minutes 40 seconds on vernier scale. When you add 20 and 5, it will be 25. Similarly, on vernier B, vernier coincidence is only 5 degrees 40 minutes, 5 minutes and 40 seconds, but we need to add 20 minutes of main scale reading at vernier A over here also. Therefore, again it is 25 minutes and 40 seconds. Then we can obtain the mean 1 or 2 degrees 25 minutes and 40 seconds. Now, here a point is to be noted. The difference between 1 or 2 degrees 25 minutes and 40 seconds and 54 degrees 31 minutes and 20 seconds will be 47 minutes 54, sorry, 47 degrees 54 minutes and 20 seconds, which is nothing but the angle BOC. We must deduct these two, I mean, this angle from this, then only you will get the angle BOC. But remember, this is with the face left only. This is not the final, not final yet. Okay. Okay, we'll go back to the diagram again. Now, telescope is actually on C. Okay, telescope is actually pointing to C. Now, we must continue the measuring the reading. Therefore, again release a upper clamp and turn the telescope towards uh, pole D or S for approximate bisection. Now you can fix the upper clamp and operate the lower tangent screw, sorry, upper tangent screw only for exact bisection of D or S, whichever is there. And if exact bisection is achieved, then you can read the both verniers, read the both the verniers A and B and record the same onto the tabular form. Now we'll go to the tabular form. For bisection of D, when you sight to D, the reading on main scale is 239 degrees and 40 minutes, whereas coincidence is 9 minutes and 40 seconds. Therefore, 40 plus 9 will is 49. You get and 40 seconds are there. And then when you move to the vernier B, we search for coincidence only, and coincidence is 9 degrees 40 minutes, whereas 40 minutes of main scale of vernier A is to be added here also. Therefore, 40 plus 9 again 49 and 40 seconds. Then mean angle is simply average of these two, that is 239 degrees 40 minutes and 40 seconds. Now the difference of these two, that is 239 degrees 40 minutes and 40 seconds and 102 degrees 25 minutes and 40 seconds is equal to 137 degrees 24 minutes and 0 seconds, which is angle COD. Right, we have left with one more angle. Yeah, right now we are, I mean, telescope is actually pointing to D or S. Now we must continue further. So therefore, release uh, uh, upper clamp and turn the telescope towards A or P and for rough bisection, and you have to fix the upper clamp, and then by operating upper tangent screw only, we can bisect P or A exactly, and now you can read both verniers and record the same onto the tabular form. And when you record, it is actually showing 0 0. But remember, we must write 360 degree, not 0. 0 or 360 both are same, but you can write a 360 over here, so that we can simply subtract this previous angle from 360. Okay, so remember 360 0 degrees and 0 minutes and 0, and vernier B 0 degrees 0 minutes. Finally total reading is 360 degrees, and angle DOA is simply obtained by subtracting 239 degrees 40 minutes 40 seconds from 360 degrees 0 minutes and 0 seconds, and you will get some 120 degrees 10 minutes and 20 seconds and so on, and this is actually angle DOA. But here one point is to be noted, like 360 degrees. So this is always the you will always not get exactly 360, but you may get either a small lesser than that 360 degrees or more than 360 degrees. This actually happens due to slip of the instrument. When you are operating lower clamp and upper, I mean upper clamps, there may be possibility that a slip may be happen, and due to that slip, you may not get exactly 360. But remember, if there is an error, let us say, if the final reading is only about 359 degrees, 1 degree lesser than what we require. So what we have to do, that 1 degree is to be distributed equally to all these reading irrespective of its magnitude. It is actually procedure. Let us say first angle is only 54 but last angle is 120, but still we will distribute equally the error onto the all angles. And at the I mean, at the same point, you can be very cautious if error is very large. Let us say about 10 degrees or 20 degrees or so. If it is very large, then we can simply discard the reading, all the records, and uh, we must repeat the entire process as a freshly. And for the second time, for this time, you have to be very careful for not getting that much error. But if the error is very small, you can simply distribute equally to the all the angles, right? So with face left and right, swing right, we have got all the readings, angle AOB, BOC, COD and DOA. Now we have to repeat the entire process with the face right also. Okay, so here face right but swing is left only. Okay, face right, swing left. Anyhow, you can swing right also, there will not be any problem. We'll go back to the diagram again. So again, at the starting, you have to transit the telescope, so that you, from face left to you are shifted now to the face right, and then release both the clamps and turn both the clamps in opposite direction, so that vernier A0 should now exactly matches with the 0 of main scale. Then but the telescope may be any other direction other than these four lines. Then let us say if telescope is in this direction with 0 0 matching, then the telescope is to be rotated onto a starting line, that is OP or OA. So in order to do that, release the lower clamp and turn the telescope towards AA, and bisect them approximately, and for exact bisection you can use a lower tangent screw. And if it is exactly bisected and you can read the both verniers, it should be 0 degrees 0 minutes and 0 seconds on vernier A as well as vernier B. Of course vernier B, there will be angle is 180 degrees, but we don't bother about angle, but we must see about only minutes. Then the process is similar with the face right. Again I need to rotate yeah yeah I need to rotate clockwise only, right side clockwise only, from A to B. So release upper clamp here, because we are going to measure the angle. Release upper clamp here and turn the telescope towards B. Okay, turn the telescope towards B, and for rough bisection, and for exact bisection we can clamp the upper clamp screw and release and operate upper tangent screw for exact bisection. Once it is bisected, yes, we are ready, and we can read both verniers and record the same onto the tabular form. Let us say the readings are now 54 minutes 31 sorry 54 degrees 31 minutes and 40 seconds on vernier A, and 31 minutes 40 seconds on vernier B. Therefore average angle you will get for the first instance. I will go back. Yeah, from here you can release an upper clamp screw and rotate the telescope further to bisect roughly point I mean ranging rod at C or R. And for exact bisection again you can use a upper tangent screw. Once it is exactly bisected, then you can read the both verniers and record the same onto the tabular form. And for this time now it is 1 or 2 degrees 26 minutes and 00 seconds at vernier A, 26 minutes and 00 seconds on vernier B, and therefore mean angle will be again 1 or 2 degrees 26 minutes. Now, angle AOB is a difference of these two, that is 54 degrees 31 minutes and 40 seconds. But angle BOC is a difference of this 102 and 54, that will be 40 47 minutes 54 and 20 seconds. Now again we'll go back to diagram. Yeah, we are at C now, or R. Again we must release upper clamp screw and turn the telescope to approximately bisect the D or S ranging rod. And to exact bisect you can use the upper tangent screw only. Now if the exact bisection is done, yes, we are ready. Now you can read both verniers at this position and record the same onto the tabular form. Now let us say vernier A reading is 239 degrees 49 minutes and 40 seconds. This is not 49, it is actually 40. Yeah, similarly min at vernier B also 49 and 40. Then the average angle you will get, and difference of previous this I mean, this angle and the previous angle will give you angle COD with the face right also. Similarly, we must rotate a telescope by releasing upper clamp screw until we must approximately bisect vernier A, sorry, vernier rod at A or P. Then for exact bisection again we may use upper tangent screw. After exact bisection you can record the same onto the tabular form. It should be now 0 0, but we must write 360 degrees, remember, not 0, 360, so that we can subtract and get positive value only. And when you subtract these two, the horizontal angle, yeah, 360, horizontal angle is 120 degrees 10 minutes and 20 seconds. That is nothing but angle DOA. Now we have four sets of values, I mean two sets of different values, angles. That is angle AOB, we have two sets, angle BOC, two sets, angle COD, two sets, and angle DOA, two sets with face left one set and face right one set. Then simply you can average, you can take the average of these two angles with face left and face right, that will be the final angle. So you can, if you can observe angle AOB 20 seconds here and 40 seconds here, but in the average you will get 30 seconds. Similarly 20 seconds here, 20 seconds, therefore 20 only, and 0 and 40 therefore 50. Okay, and 20 and 20 therefore 20 as it is. So like this you will get four angles. These are the required accurate horizontal angles, but in every case we don't get equal angles. That means in every time we may not get horizon closed exactly on the zero. A little here and there may happen, but the error is distributed equally among the all angles, that is to be remembered. And it is also remembered that error should not be very large. If it is so large, then we can discard the entire readings and we will repeat the same process again with a special care this time. Okay, so like this you will get the four different readings, I mean required readings. And what is the advantage? So when you are going to measure number of angles with the same station for time, for minimizing your time, this method can be adopted. And slip, any error due to slip which can be actually uh, unnoticed, even the first two methods. If there is a problem of slip with the instrument, you may not be knowing uh, with the general method as well as the reiteration repetition method. But in reiteration method, as we are completing the origin, the error due to slip is actually uh, calculated, and it is adjusted also. So that is the main advantage. Okay, so I think it is enough for today. We are just going to revise, going to see what we have learned today. So these are all different horizontal angle measurement methods. Out of this, we have discussed reiteration method in detail today, and we have also revised general method and repetition method. And at the starting of the class, we have also reminded how to measure, how to read verniers A and B, how to record the same onto the tabular form, and we have dealt detailedly reiteration method, adaptability, overview, and detailed procedure, and recording the same onto tabular form, and also how to calculate the average, and what is the advantage of this method over the first two general methods, as well as method of uh, reiteration repetition. Okay. So with this method of reiteration is completed. I hope this lesson is useful to you, and with one more topic, that is measurement of vertical angles. I'll come to the next class. Okay. Thank you, one and all.